Madam Speaker, the opportunity to discuss these matters in the previous debate on the second reading of this bill gave me an opportunity to outline the reason that Labor has put this amendment forward in the in detail section. At that point, and I just want to reiterate it in the few minutes in this part of the debate for the House, for those who weren't aware from that part of the debate, at that point I indicated that Labor would recognises that the vast bulk of this bill is intended to provide really sensible amendments to the powers of the regulator and the government in order to increase or improve definitional terms. For example, as many members indicated, the fact that the original bill's RTO strict definition was hampering and tying the hands of the regulator with some of those purporting to be RTO activities that were going on in the market. Some significant quality assurance improvements, particularly the ability for the Minister to act more speedily to address some of the things that had emerged in the market, and we absolutely endorse many of those. I think the message from those amendments is particularly important and useful in the general public at the moment, and that's why I commend the government for them, because there is clear, day by day, media reports about very, very unscrupulous behaviour that's going on in the vet market. Only this morning I opened my own paper, the Illawarra Mercury, to see another story about war students with very significant debts who had felt that they got a very poor outcome and were potentially misled or given misinformation about their enrolment. So this is out there in our communities. And I listened to as many of the speakers as I could in the second reading, and not only on our side of the House but members on the other side of the House telling very moving and concerning stories about their constituents who had been to them with great concerns about their children or vulnerable people they were caring for who had been caught up in this scandalous scam behaviour in the community. So the bill in its vast bulk is exactly on message. It's exactly what should be being said. We should be strengthening the arm of the regulator. We should be strengthening the arm of the Minister to respond, and that's why we endorse it. This is why I'm a bit bemused and why I really want to take this opportunity at least to put on the record. I don't know that I've convinced those on the opposite side, but give them too the chance to put on the record in the public debate. This particular section that I want to amend now puts in place a change to the registration period. So previously, registering under ASQA, an RTO was given a registration for 5 years, and the proposal is to move that to 7. Now, in normal circumstances, in a well-regulated market operating as it should, not what we're seeing at the moment, these things might be quite logical. The regulator to the Senate estimates outlined how they want to shift from a focus of doing known audit processes where people are able to plan well in advance for the audit and therefore it limits its effectiveness, to a much more intelligence-based, risk-based intervention system. I think that's a good thing to do. And so their argument is that the 5 to 7 years actually frees their resources up so that they're doing less renewals of registration and they can focus on these high-risk ones. And I do understand that as well. The other argument, of course, which I do understand with this, is that TEXA, who regulate the university sector, have 7-year timeframes, and there are quite a few people operating across sectors. So for them, it's a logical thing to have a 7-year period. My problem is I think now is exactly the wrong time to have included this clause in the bill. I'm proposing in my amendment that it becomes an earned capacity, that is, that once an RTO has been registered and has earned the reputation of being a low-risk, reliable provider, then on renewal they can then get a 7-year period. And so I think it's a sensible strengthening of the message, in fact, that the government is attempting to put in place through this bill. And for that reason, I commend the bill, and I hope that those opposite find the ability to support it.